Look, a brilliant business strategy is going to completely fail if you don't have the high energy and sharp focus to actually pull it off. I mean, we've all seen it, right? The burnt-out entrepreneur running on absolute fumes, or maybe the biohacker who has boundless energy but literally zero revenue. But on the flip side, having a perfectly optimized biological engine is entirely wasted if you're pouring all that incredible focus into a broken business model. So, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to bridge that gap. Think of this as your ultimate guide to building both a high-performance biological engine and an incredibly profitable business vehicle. All right, let's get into it. Here is our blueprint for today's explainer. We're going to cover 1. Mastering your morning energy. 2. Optimizing focus and stress. 3. The recovery and sleep protocol. 4. Selling implementation, not information. And finally, 5. Pricing and guarding your offer. All right, section 1, mastering your morning energy. To really optimize your morning, we have to completely reframe how we think about cortisol. It gets a pretty bad rap, but it's not just a negative stress hormone. Biologically, it's actually your essential internal alarm clock. You definitely don't want it low in the morning. You want it peaking early to wake you up and drive you forward. So walk through this timeline with me. Within 30 minutes of waking up, you've got to get outside for a walk. Forward ambulation creates what's called optic flow, and that actually lowers anxiety in the brain's amygdala. Plus, getting that sunlight triggers a healthy, essential cortisol pulse. Now here is the real secret weapon. Delay your caffeine for 90 to 120 minutes. Why? Well, when you wake up, a sleepiness molecule called adenosine is still sort of floating around in your brain. If you just block it immediately with coffee, you're basically taking out an energy loan with a terrible interest rate. You're guaranteeing a massive biological credit card bill and a huge crash later in the afternoon. Delaying that caffeine gives you this crisp, sustained alertness that perfectly sets you up for a peak focus block about 4 to 6 hours later. Now, to truly master your scheduling, you need to understand this specific biological marker, your temperature minimum. This is the absolute lowest point of your body temperature, and it happens roughly 2 hours before you usually wake up. After that minimum hits, your body temperature starts rising steeply, and your brain is optimally primed for its absolute best, deepest work exactly 4 to 6 hours after that temperature minimum. So we've got to stop guessing when to work. Find your temperature minimum, calculate that 4 to 6 hour window, and fiercely protect it. That is exactly when you should be scheduling your hardest business tasks. Moving on to section 2, optimizing focus and stress. 90 minutes. That is the magic number for deep work. Our brains naturally operate on these 90-minute ultradian cycles. But to really enter this productive tunnel, you need to physically optimize your workspace. So position your screens at eye level or even slightly higher. Fun fact, looking down physically signals your brain's neurons related to sleep. It literally prepares you to lie down and get sleepy, which is crazy. Turn on some low-level white noise to optimize the brain for learning, and turn your phone completely off, no exceptions. Now combine this 90-minute block with a morning fast to keep adrenaline safely elevated. Digestion takes a lot of energy and diverts heavy blood flow away from the brain, but fasting keeps your blood glucose low, which safely elevates adrenaline and epinephrine. Put all those elements together, boom, you have a recipe for elite cognitive output. Look, throughout the day, inevitable frustrations are going to spike your adrenaline. To buffer this, you should introduce deliberate stress into your routine. Think along the lines of a brief ice bath, a cold shower, or even just some intense cyclic breathing. This teaches your nervous system an absolute superpower, how to keep your mind perfectly calm and controlled while your physical body is flooded with adrenaline. Deliberate stress trains your mind to stay chill while the body is highly alert, which keeps your overall energy incredibly robust when actual real-world work stress hits you. All right, section 3, the recovery and sleep protocol. Of course, intense focus requires intense rest. You literally cannot run hot constantly. You have to remember that food is not just calories, it's a physiological tool to control your alertness. For lunch, you want low-carb, proteins, and vegetables. This maintains that adrenaline and dopamine for daytime alertness. But for dinner, you actually want starchy carbohydrates like rice or pasta. Starches promote the release of serotonin in the brain, which effectively shifts your nervous system out of that high alert state and perfectly prepares your body for a deep, restful evening. Now, if you want to safely accelerate that transition into sleep, this is the actionable sleep formula. Magnesium threonate or glycinate crosses the blood-brain barrier to promote GABA, effectively and calmly shutting down the anxious planning part of your brain. Combine that with 50 milligrams of apigenin, which is actually the active ingredient in chamomile, and theanine.
Together, this stack safely eases your executive function offline without the disruptive side effects or that nasty grogginess of taking melatonin directly. It is literally the perfect biochemical off switch for a high-performing mind.
Shifting gears now to section 4, cell implementation, not information. Okay, so your biological engine is now fully optimized. You've got the energy, the focus, and the recovery completely locked in. Now we apply it to a high-ticket business vehicle. The biggest mistake creators make is charging for basic information. Mediocre creators try to sell these $99 PDF modules that a quick Google search already gives away for free. A true education business, however, gives the secrets away for free as marketing, and then charges a premium for the implementation. They charge for accountability, real-time feedback, monitoring performance, and actually doing the work together. This quote right here changes absolutely everything. People don't pay you to know, they pay you to do. Most buyers never even finish standard online courses. Your secret method shouldn't just be a new funnel or some clever diet trick. The real money is in the mechanism that ensures people actually stick with your program and don't quit. You aren't just selling a map, you are selling the part where you walk right next to them so they actually reach the destination.
And finally, section 5, pricing and guarding your offer. Once you shift from selling static videos to selling guaranteed implementation, your pricing model completely transforms. Pricing is tied directly to the customer's perceived likelihood of actually achieving a result. So you have to stop asking how to justify the cheap price of a basic course. Instead, ask yourself, what would I need to add to this offer to make it worth $6,000 or even $8,000? Where do your customers get stuck? And how do you do that part with them or for them? If you add that support and increase the perceived likelihood of achievement, the higher price instantly makes sense. Let's look at how this builds out in reality. We see a perfect example of starting with a low price on purpose. You start at something like $1,200 to get those early, easy wins and gather some hard data. Once you have a solid year of undeniable proof that your system works, you improve the product with that feedback, and suddenly you can confidently leap to charging $5,000 or even $7,000. Price doesn't follow hype, right? Price follows proof. But here is the catch. Raising your price only works if the people you let in actually succeed. You need an aggressive method of gatekeeping, a filtering funnel. Because if anyone with a pulse and a credit card can buy, you are just building a refund pile and a terrible reputation. You need an application form, a qualification call, setting very direct expectations, and most importantly, being completely willing to reject people. Turning the wrong people away protects the result rate for the right ones. Plus, it proves you genuinely care about their success, not just their money. Imagine never having to use a sleazy sales tactic ever again. If you rigorously track your 30, 60, 90, and 12-month success metrics, you can just tell the unhyped truth. That's the truth machine. A real education business doesn't need sensationalism or fake urgency. You literally get to say, the average person who joined 6 months ago is now doing exactly this. Stop guessing, measure the actual real-world results, and let your student success stories do all the hard selling for you. Well, we've covered a massive amount of ground in this explainer today. You now have the exact protocols to master your morning light, command your focus, and achieve deep restorative recovery. And you have the blueprint to stop selling cheap information and start selling high-ticket implementation. So I want to leave you with this. With your biological engine firing on all cylinders and your business model utterly bulletproof, what will you build tomorrow? Take these tools, apply them to your life, and let's see what you are truly capable of.